What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Thank you for watching Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag. Happy Monday, October 7th. My guy Brandon Lugo says, thanks to me, this show makes a Monday way less hellish. Leche. Hey, Mondays are great in the capping game because it's a brand new week, although last week was nice. I had a strange week. We'll get into that soon. DX Filer in the house. Jaden Belanger, our guy. Ramos, I'm in the final 13 people of SBR NFL Totals Only Survivor Pool. Nice job. Nice job, man. Matt Randall announces, hello, everybody. Ready to start a new week. Monday's plays went 3-1, are now 13-7 overall. Unfortunately, the weekend taint lost, now at 3-2. Air Force Navy went over, which was a bonus play I gave out. I did read that. I did go over notes from last week and read that. Matt Randall in the house. Shadow. We got Shadow in the house, ready to get to work. Corey Mack, Mally Mouse, Jimmy, I told you, Vegas again, man, free money. Great job. I was very concerned with them without Nate Schmidt. I'm not entirely certain it's Vegas that's so good when Schmidt's out of the lineup. Maybe it might be the Sharks playing badly right now, but great job, Mally Mal. Riku Roxas, Packers money line, nice job. Dav Fenn, Jermel Wright, flip money. Richie Rich in the house. Slats 45 says Whale Cap are killing it. 2+ money dogs riding is over. 49ers Browns over tonight. I'm with them too. I got it at 46 minus 116. I bet it at 46.5. We now see the 47.5. We're gonna get into that too. Whale Cap are absolutely destroying NFL right now, like not even like unbelievable what he's doing. We got D-Bash in the house, Alex Guerrero, Paco Healy, Tomarino. Toma says clean up in the NFL. Love hearing that. Jerry BDE, JV, Carlos Perros says my Redskins finally did something. Fired Jay Gruden. I saw that this morning. We got Yin in the house, Barry ready to go. Michelle Rudloff, thank you. It's a happy late birthday. Very kind, Michelle Rudloff. Yes, I turned 40 on Friday, 40. So because of that, I did take Saturday off. So in college football, I went 2-1 Thursday and Friday, and then took Saturday off. I needed to go in a bit of a bender. So a little strange weekend because then I got back Sunday. NFL football went 3-1 in NFL football on Sunday. So overall, it was a good enough weekend. Abdabet ready to go. We got Ed 215 ready to go. What a great group. Anna Merrick. Nice weekend for UFC. Hit that 444 parlay. Attaboy, Anna Merrick. Nasty Nate. Serious business. Dav Fenn. Our team is here and ready to go. Isaiah Shepard says the Bears killed me. Yes, they did not look good. And Whale Capper had the Raiders at plus 200 on the money line. Spectacular. There's Tom Ricci. Crushed NFL this week. 11-4 for the week. I love it. Astute Chaos. Cash Brady passing 348 or more. Beautiful work. Ramos' Wales Oakland Raider pick was 6. So was his Packers money line pick. I mean, the guy's just rolling right now. Christopher Compton says, wow, you look 20. Jimmy, I don't know about that. Isaiah Shepard in the house. Ian Jackson, thank you. Thank you for the love. Kevin Pine, Coactus, DJ Big Boss. I saw that. I saw Dom Ricci, Noli Knows, on the Who Bang and Sports Talk, the Boss and the Sauce show, and they were spectacular. Very, very good stuff from them. Mr. Rizzo, Alex Ramirez, Gerald Jones says, I turned 50 on Wednesday, October 9th. I love it. Happy birthday. Soon. We will wish you a great happy birthday, Gerald Jones. Cobra Sports and Coactus says, how about them Colts? Incredible. And there was another winner for Whale Capper. He was on the under in that game. Corey Max says, good job pulling that Steelers plus 3.5. Yes, it was important to get the plus 3.5. They were unlucky not to win that football game. There's Brian Beasley with Compton in the house. Gives us some legitimacy when Compton is in the house. Okay, let's get to work right now. We're going to start with that Browns-Niners game. Not going to spend too much time on it, really. We will, though, talk to Teddy Covers about it when he gets on the show. There's James H. Luis Fernando Esquinza ready to work. What a great group we have. And Tom Marino says, Bears getting London late hurt. They weren't ready to play the first half. I had Oakland money line. Great job, Tom Marino. Yeah, it's just so simple. Have these guys never traveled before? It's just ridiculous. Okay, so Browns-Niners. Let's pop up the NFL record. I'll be wearing my Warm Moon jersey all week. I can't lose this week. I'm 3-1 with the over left. Look, I know it's ugly, but it was horrifying. And it's slowly getting better, slowly each week getting better. And I won't take off that Warm Moon jersey until I have a losing week. And I'm on Browns-Niners over. And it was not the easiest move to get towards. It took me a little bit of time. I guess the main point is if the Niners don't have Ahkello Witherspoon, which hurts. So we're going to see Emmanuel Moseley in the backfield. We need Witherspoon in this type of game. If you watch the Niners, you know that Richard Sherman doesn't usually defend the number one receiver. So I don't think he's going to be on Odell Beckham. And then if that's the case, then they're in trouble through the air. Unless Moseley has a huge game. It's a big chance for Emmanuel Moseley. So that was part of it. Then we have no Joe Staley. So we have Justin School. I mean, he looked okay going up against Dupree, but now he's going to have Myles Garrett. So you take two huge pieces of the 49ers, one on the offensive side of the ball, one on the defensive side of the ball, that are enormously important, and you take them out. And to me, that's going to be an increase in scoring. And then you have this weak rushing defense of the Browns that can easily be beaten up. And to me, that just says points. That says points. There's Dutch Boy Fresh in the house, not applicable. Luis Fernando Esquin said Jimmy Browns are due. 49ers with that bye week about to be sluggish. We have all these stats that say the 49ers are going to be bad out of the bye week. I find that very difficult to understand. Matt Randall's on Browns plus the point. Jamel's on Browns plus the points. Kevin Pines has spread all the way up to 5. There's no way it ends at 5. We did just see our first 4.5 on the board. I'm surprised that there would be 5 points. Now, I wish I had taken the 49ers at 3.5. I was going over the leans that I had because I had a very small amount of plays in the NFL, and I'm not going to ever complain about 3-1, but the leans were all cashing, and I'm not going to be afraid to pull the trigger earlier this week. There's Guru Sports Bets in the house, and Guru is a Bay Area guy, so it's great timing, Guru, who thinks this is the spot where the 49ers stub their toe. Mally Mel on the Niners -5. DJ Big Boss 4-2 in the pick six contest, up to 522. Nice job. I've improved in the pick six contest too. We're slowly coming back, and I have full faith that we're going to be nice, healthy plus units soon. Those are the most important things. It's not Chubb going for 165 yards last week. To me, the most important thing is no Staley. No Staley, so Myles Garrett's going to run rampant. So that's the first thing. The second is no Witherspoon. So we're asking a ton out of a guy who barely made the squad. Wasn't expected to make the squad, but out of hard work made the squad, and that's Moseley. So those are the two biggest factors in this. And look at Ron Crawford's spreadsheet, 10-2 on Toronto tonight. Man, great work. Avi Gold says, why are people fading the 49ers? What are your main reasons? And, the most interesting to me is coming from a Bay Area guy from Guru Sports Bet, so I'd like to hear that. So, look, if it gets back down to 3.5, I think there's going to be a ton of late money on the Browns. I will take the Niners. That was a mistake not taking 3.5. I won't do it at any other spot than that. Dog Bry. Nice. Says, raising hell on the local pool this weekend. Big ups to Whale Capper. Nice. Yeah, it was spectacular. Whale Capper was spectacular. Rico Roxa says Browns still missing starting corners. Yeah, they are. And I mean, what we've seen from Jimmy G so far is not much. So it's hard to have a ton of. Oh, wow. Gerald Jones was in Indy last night, pick 6. Great job, Gerald. Ron Crawford, NFL spreadsheet, 68%. Cleveland +5. I like Cleveland at +5. Now, I'm not going to take it. I'm a 49ers guy, and I've got the over. And I'll sit back with that. So that's where we stand. Now, we'll talk with other cappers throughout the day. Their looks on Browns-Niners. I'm over 46 at -116. That was available at Bookmaker earlier in the week. And I'm on the 46.5 with my personal bet. So that's what it is. And there's DJ Big Boss, NCAA football contest, 9-8, 38th in the contest. Get in there ASAP. Low baggers, all low baggers. Welcome, love that. MLB back in San Fran. And Don Reacher says it's still that Brown love out there. They still believe. I'm wrong with Browns won't win 8 games this year. We shall see. It's just that North is so weak, so it's not going to be too hard to get those wins. There's Antoine Seymour in the house. Jaden Belanger says, Shanahan with extra time to prepare. I like it. So do I. And yet the stats say that the Niners out of a bye. I truly do not believe that stat. That doesn't make sense to me. MLB on the Blues. And there's Barry, our guy Barry, saying Niners 0-6 against spread coming off bye week. Look, I mean, that's a bad stat, and that's a stat that's going to help Browns backers. But that's not a stat that I have a ton of belief in. I really don't. These were terrible 49er teams we're talking about. This is a much better team. Okay, so I'm on the over 46. We shall see. Here's Guru, and this is a very interesting take. This is from a Bay Area guy. Says the 49ers are way overrated. Name one offensive position where you would take the Niners players other than tight end. They beat nothing but scrubs. This is a classic setup. Wow. They will lose. Very interesting. Very interesting. There's Jeff Joseph. My guy Jeff Joseph says Jimmy G 9-2 at start. There's Alex Guerrero says Shanahan is the reason why Atlanta went to the playoffs. Stay woke. I agree. Look, I'm a huge Shanahan guy. And that's why I'm saying I don't believe in the 0-6 off a bye. That's why I'm saying that. Exactly why I'm saying that. There's Brian Tran in the house ready to get to work. Okay, so let's get to work. NFL, I'm on the over. We'll talk more about that soon. Let's move into NHL. And I only say that because there's two quick games. We're going to hammer it more on the late show. We'll talk about them briefly. And then we'll spend a lot of time on playoff baseball. And then we'll open with playoff baseball when we talk to our guy, Teddy Covers. So let's get to work. Tom Marino says the Browns have beaten no one but scrubs. Ravens aren't a good team. I agree with that. They should have lost. Stephen Chamberlain says, look at the Falcons' offensive numbers off a bye, not the Niners before a bye. Yes, Stephen Chamberlain, beautifully put. Beautifully put from Stephen Chamberlain. I think that's perfect. Barry, my guy Barry says, I don't see the 49ers going 4-0. I get it. Guacta says 49ers defense unpredictable. No one guy better than the other. Hard for teams to play against and to prepare. And Dom Reach says San Francisco was my 2-unit pick 6 spot. So did you get 3.5 there, Dom? I'd love to hear that. Okay. DX Filer says it perfect. Shanny versus Kitchens. I mean, when I go over my notes from the top of this, it's who do you rather? And this was before the Tuesday show, not before the Friday show. But really, you're gonna believe in Kitchens here when you got Shanny off a bye? I mean, it seems like a spot here. Ronnie Christie says Tampa Bay cost me a 15-game parlay for 18. Geez, no, Ronnie Christie. But speaking of which, there's our guy Raven in the desert, 4-1 against spread on small schools tweet and 157 parlay. I wish I jumped on them, Raven. I did notice that. It was just that I needed 24 hours, to let go. A lot of pressure here at work, so it was nice to get 24 hours. Those of you who questioned the Carolina Hurricanes, one guy who's a great capper, Mohamed Joma, and I've been wrong about the Canadians, and I should just stop betting against Canadians. I get it. But did you guys see what the Hurricanes did to the Lightning last night? Lightning got 2 shots on goal combined in the second and third period. Outshot 44-13 by the Hurricanes. 44-13 by the Carolina Hurricanes. And I got them at 30-1, 16-1, and 5-1 Cup Conference division. The Hurricanes dominated. Put their foot on the throat of this Lightning team. Now, Lightning got up 3-1 early, and it took the Hurricanes all game to win in overtime. But 44-13 against a team that won 128 points last year. My God. My goodness. Okay. Let's talk hockey right now. And yes, Jimmy, and -4. Okay, nice. Okay. -4. I'll be cheering for you heavy. And if it gets down to 3, I expect late money to come in. Not applicable says devil shit the bed so far. It's 2 games. It's 2 games. Now, on Friday, I lost that NHL spot. So can we put up my NHL record? They were up 4-0. I was sitting back thinking, oh, man, I'm going to be 3-1 up huge. But Ronnie Christie says Tampa didn't show up. They did not, but it's not. Yeah, Don Ricci was very. Kevin Pine says, how about them Rachers? How about my guy, Mika Zibanejad? Man, got him in the hockey pool. Got Trouba in the hockey pool. Got Buchnevich with my last pick in the hockey pool. I'm second. We'll win it again this year. Won it last year. Zibanejad needed help and got it. Got it from Panarin. That's very exciting. Mally Mal says, ain't gonna lie, Jimmy, Devil's trash, true story. Okay, Mally Mal. I will copy and paste this to show you how wrong you are at the end of the season. There we go. There we go. Come on. All those new parts. Look, they're very, very... They outskill almost every team they're going to play against all year. All right, let's roll. And Luis Fernando Esquita is saying, bro, Orlando Magic say is a lock. Detroit Pistons, Miami Dolphins of the NBA. Come on. That's a little harsh. Tormentos, the Sabres at home were significantly undervalued. I agree with that completely. All right, and Flip Money says, where's Kate Paskey? He's working right now. He'll be back rolling with us. Don't worry. And there's Previous Taylor in the house. Previous Taylor in the house. Okay, let's get back to work now. Let's get into NHL. So I've kept everything very tight, very compact early in the year. And if you looked at some of the scores on Saturday, I was pretty thankful to be doing that. Tyklin said the under hit Sunday Night Football. Nice job. There's TJ Parks in the house. All right, Blues, Leafs. Mally Mal backing Luis Fernando Esquin says play on the Orlando Magic today, or NBA very soon coming. All right, we got Binnington, Anderson, both goalies off to a nice start. That big comeback the Habs had on the Leafs, that was Hutchinson and net, not Anderson. Blues 1-0-1, Leafs 2-0-1. Blues 2.50 goals per game early, 25% power play, 80% shorthanded. They're just a quality hockey club. Leafs are scoring 4.67 goals per game, allowing 26.7 power play, and a very strong 90.9 shorthanded early in the season. MLB says Red Wings 2-0. Keep watching that dog money. New GM Yzerman legend. I'm on the over 75.5. See Manta put up 4 goals. Those big boys, Manta, Anastasiou, sorry, the old GM for the Jays. Manta, Anastasiou, Tyler Bertuzzi. The Red Wings are going to be a very good team moving forward, and I wish I did more. There's Wang Chu Kant in the house. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Okay, let's keep rolling. We got a lot of work to do here in this spot. Let's take a look at the market move here in this Blues Leafs spot. It opened at 6.5 and it lasted for about 7 or 8 hours. Talk about people taking advantage of a situation betting the day before. And I would, if this 6.5 was available right now, I would probably make my first totals play of the season. It makes sense to move down to 6. Notice this big market move towards the Blues. Because now I look at the Leafs at minus 127 and I'm like, man, this Leafs team has value at minus 127. This Leafs team has value. Let's see when this market move went towards the Blues. The Blues opened at plus 127 yesterday at 11:20 a.m. By 11:42 a.m. So in 20 minutes, 15-cent move. 15-cent move on the Blues. Wow. I mean, that's nuts. Now, I get that the Blues are maybe plus 127 have value, but man, this feels like a spot where now the Leafs have enormous amount of value. Ronnie Chris says, Toronto lost partly Hutchinson's fault. How do you throw a broken stick at someone with the puck? Yeah, as Kasperi Kapanen did. 1 goal, game, 5 minutes left. Yeah, it was very, very bad play. There's Pink Eye Genie in the house. Says, guess I should have been here to give you all Cardinals money line. Always lurking. Pink Eye Genie, my guy, in the house. Matt Randall, Monday College Football plays already in. I love it. Copy and paste that right here. There we go. Copy and paste it. There was a lot of winning going on in college football by you guys when I was going over the notes, and I wish, but sometimes you just need 24 hours to celebrate, and that's what I did. Okay, let's talk about it. Maple Leafs won their first 2 games of the season and lost that 6-5 shootout. Disappointing. Matthews is rolling, so focused. A lot of these top players, when they do something foolish or stupid, like Matthews did with that pants down incident, they become laser focused on hockey because it keeps them together. Leafs still have Hyman and Dermott on the IR. Blues first win of the season Saturday, 3-2 over the Stars after losing 3-2 in overtime in that home opener. Robert Thomas out with an injury. At this point, I think the Leafs have a lot of value. I really think the Leafs have a lot of value. At minus 127, minus 128, at minus 1, that's it. At minus 127. How do they not have a ton of value here? Richie Rich says, I'm not liking the Leafs defense so far. I mean, there's a reason, and I keep saying that. And Jim Rome Stu sent me a Twitter message about Barry in game 1. Trust me. Barry's going to drop the ball. There's a reason why Sakic wanted him out. Mally Mouse says, Leafs giving up too much goals for me. Is this Blues team going to be able to go goal for goal with them? I don't know. MLB saying definitely the Blues. Ronnie Chris said Blues have won the last 6 versus the Leafs. They're 11-1-1 in the ACC Center. Nate Dogg the Leafs have to have a ton of value right now. Let's talk about Sabres, Blue Jackets, and then get into baseball and decide what we want to do here. But I just feel like the Leafs have too much value. Dor Marino says Toronto wants to prove they are contenders. More important game for them. Ronnie Chris says we know Binnington can steal games. Coactus says teams like to play Toronto because visiting players have a lot of family there, so they get up for games. I mean, that can go both ways, Coactus, but I agree with that sentiment. I just feel like the Leafs have too much value here. Bobby Top says Leafs will be focused and hungry. Babcock will have them ready. DJ Big Boss said, talk to my old lady, say they want to fly you in for my birthday in the dungeon. Oh, well, that is appealing. We're asked where the public is right now, and I don't have that up on my screen here. I will have to look into that. I'll pop that up. I think that that the Leafs have too much value right now. Too much value. Anthony Chalmers says more. You cover Tampa Bay yet, Mally? What the lock of the day? And I like your insight on the Sabres. Sabres are going to be a really good hockey team. Ronnie Chris said playing their biggest rival, the Habs last game, playing the best team in the league in Tampa, letdown spot. No, I don't think too early. I think for a letdown spot. I don't see how. I really don't see how this is. Let's see what they are on the puck line right now. I think Leafs roll here. I do. I think this is a spot for the Leafs. Boogie Lover Q says St. Louis will get every team's A game. Interesting to see how they respond to being hunted. Tomino says Toronto's speed should give the Blues issues. God, I see this as a spot for Toronto, especially after that 6-5 game. All right, I'm going to take a little bit more time. Let's talk Sabres, Jackets right now. Sabres off to a great start. 2-0. Outscored Pittsburgh, Jersey 10-3, winning its first two games. They're 4 for 6 on the power play. Goalie's not confirmed. We think it's Hutton versus Korpisalo. Korpisalo has not got off to a very good start. These are two young goalies that the Jackets have. They could be in big trouble. Sabres 5 goals per game, 66.7 power play, 85.7 shorthanded. Jackets look bad in all areas right now. Sabres are looking to open up with 3 straight victories for the first time in 11 years. 7 different players already scored for Buffalo. Olofsson, Reinhart, Sheary, each with 2. Looking good under Ralph Kruger. Boston's looked solid early in its own end. Buffalo, looked solid early in its own end. 6 of 7. They've killed 6 of 7 penalties. Carter Hutton's looked good. 46 of 49. Sabres are still doing this with defensemen on the IR. Montour, Bogosian, and Hunwick all on the IR to start the season. Blue Jackets have been outscored 11-3. Korpisalo has not looked good. Dubinsky started the season on IR. They clearly need him back. Jim Rummy says, if the Leafs have too much value, Jimmy, will you take it right away without thinking? But, yeah, I don't take it right away without thinking. Jim Rummy? That's right. I think. And I know you don't. You have a model that does your thinking for you. And that's great. You're an exceptional capper. But yes, I think. Great talk. All right, let's keep moving. Mally Mal says Blue Jackets done. There's Cuban Connect in the house. Tormino says Buffalo chemistry looks great. They've kept the same core together, but Big Line and Jackets will be desperate. Yes, I don't see this as a spot where I want to take Buffalo on the road. Tortorella is going to have this team grinding. They need this win desperately. Tormino said Jackets have been trash. I wouldn't bet against them. Against anyone right now. Look, yes, but it's very early in the season. It's very, very early in the season. Luis Fernandez Skinta is saying, is Big Ragu in here? Big Ragu will be live on our late show today. Dimitri says, Jimmy gave the chat -1. Oh, gave the chat -1.5, 3 units on opening night. Here's another. Leafs Blues go to overtime at +300. I like that. I like that. Not Pickle says, I think we need to move on. Jim, what do you want me to say? You're upset that I'm thinking when there's a play with value? Game 3 of the NHL season? Sorry, I'm not just looking at value and making plays. And I know that's how you do things, and you're a great success. So keep up your good work, and don't shit on me for taking a little time to think. Man. All right, so yes, I'm thinking about the Leafs at home here against the Stanley Cup champions after they lose 6-5 in a shootout. I apologize for taking the time to think. All right. Jin Rami says, you said they have so much value, but logically, if there's so much value, anybody will take it right away. Okay, great. Take it right away. Jesus. Okay. Let's move on to MLB. Okay. Look, we know we've talked for a long time, Jin Rami. We cap things differently. And I wish I capped things like you. You're a professional. You do great work. Keep up the great work. All right, let's go into MLB right now. MLB, let's get going. We have a game popping off very soon, an hour and 40 minutes. We have a game popping off. Astros, Rays. Let's take a look at money lines, totals. Let's see. Yes, I think Okay, jeez. Okay, let's just stay focused here. Greinke, Morton. Greinke opening up at minus 143. We've seen a big move towards Morton here. Big move towards Morton. 15-cent move towards Morton in the race. This total opened at 8. It's still at 8 at Heritage. 7.5 everywhere else. 7.5 everywhere else. Greinke, 18-5, 2.93 ERA, 0.98 WHIP during the regular season. Morton, 16-6, 3.05 ERA, 1.08 WHIP. It's clear that Morton is the leader of this team, not just of the bullpen and the pitching staff here. Astros hitting 274, 840 OPS versus righties. Rays are hitting 253, 761 OPS versus righties. The Astros got a combined 14 and 2/3 innings of 5-hit shutout ball from Verlander and Cole. Greinke, 4-6, 3.36 ERA, 17 career meetings against the Rays. He didn't get a decision when pulled after 5 2/3 in August. He did not look good. Allowed 5 runs. Austin Meadows homer. Travis d'Arnaud homer. Morton has not lost in his last 5 postseason appearances. This guy is stepping up in a big, big way. Looked good in the wild card game. 1 earned run in 5 innings, but they kept him to just 5 innings. He faced the Astros twice in the regular season, beat them with 5 innings and 3 hit ball in the opening series of the year at home. Then he was taken for 6 runs in 4 innings in a blowout loss to Houston in August. 4-6 with a 6.28 ERA against the Astros and 11 career head-to-head matchups. All starts. Let's see what the chat is saying about this look. Not applicable. Says Houston sweeps series is over. Houston sweeps series is over. Come on, I love Jin. I just don't want to be angry at myself for taking some time to think about a spot. Okay, not applicable says he will shit the bed today. He will shit the bed today. Tormino says Morton's numbers are misleading. He wasn't consistent against an Oakland team that wasn't hitting. Interesting. Well, I think they're misleading in 2 factors. They're misleading with how he is overall against the Astros with that 6.28 ERA because that was before he became a staff ace. Brandon Lugo says, did you have a call on Jacket Sabres? No, but I understand why the Jackets are taking money. Let me leave it at that. If at some point I could make a move on both the Jackets and the Leafs at some point during this show. My guy Ian says, I like Astros Rays first inning under a half. So no score first inning. Tampa Bay first 5 minus a half. And Tampa Bay Houston first 5 under 4.5. Ronnie Christie liking Astros in the under. Mally Mal says Tampa Bay and over. Facts. There's Alec Holligan in the house. Nice to know that you had a great weekend, my guy. Mally Mal says, Jack instead. Mally Mal, we can't make those kind of black and white decisions about a hockey team after 2 games. We just can't. Now, do I want to take the Jackets? I kind of do. Now, I'm not going to do that at this point, but I kind of do want to take the Jackets. Dutch Boy Fresh, first 5 under 4, minus 110 is a lean. Stroh's better team at minus 130, lock it up. Raymond Reichard says, why not an Astros-Yankees parlay? You get about 200. Luis Fernandez-Quince says, if it's a Yankees win, they probably cover the minus 2.5. All right, so we will talk to our Teddy covers about Astros-Rays. This game popping off in an hour and 35 minutes. Greinke, Morton. How do you trust Greinke in a hugely important game is the question, and everybody will have a different answer to that. Everybody will have a different answer than that. Ronnie Christie says, most. Okay. Ronnie Christie says, Morton is being banged up this year by elite lineups like Houston. I agree with that. Mally Mouse says, Astros not winning today. And Joe Annisi says, New York Yankees money line, easy. We got Flipper 13 gas station. Sushi in the house. All right. Jin. Okay, Jin. I got you, Jin. I got you, Jin. Sorry, my fault. Jin in the house. Okay. All right. Be Smooth says, put Teddy covers on, Jimmy. Yes, Be Smooth. That's what we do here. Thank you. Bookie Lover Q says, losing Hawk teams are one keg party away from a win. I agree with that. Okay, so let's move on to Keuchel Hudson. Keuchel Hudson. I might surprise you, Be Smooth, but I don't have Teddy covers under the table or just sitting in the wings, just sitting there waiting to come on. We actually have a time when he comes on. Every week, every day, the exact same time. He's not waiting to get the cue from Be Smooth. He's like, oh, Be Smooth says it's time? Jesus. All right. Sorry, Be Smooth. A little edgy all of a sudden. All right. Jerry Beatty says, big move to the Blues. Jimmy, your thoughts? I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake. All right. Michelle Rudolph says Jimmy cranky at 40. Maybe that's what happened. Be Smooth, yes. I will definitely be back to Miami. We loved it very, very much. All right. Braves Cardinals. Let's talk about Braves Cardinals here. Total at 8. Open at minus 114. Still there. We've had a 1 cent move towards the Braves. Braves are playing good baseball. Braves are playing good baseball. I'm not fired up. I'm okay. All right. Let's stay focused. Here, 73 Fahrenheit clear, 8 miles per hour in. Dakota Hudson is, do we haven't announced, we must have who is the Braves are going with Keuchel on 3 days rest. Keuchel on 3 days rest, so they're afraid to put Taylor on, which is understandable. Keuchel only threw 74 pitches in that game. Do you want Keuchel on 3 days rest? I don't. Quackta says Cards get one back today. Keuchel on 3 days rest, I think, is a mistake. Wow. Keuchel on 3 days rest. Thank you, Nate Dogg. Much love. Okay. Jerry Beatty, what I would do with the Leafs is I would take them on the -1 line because I would want to be live in a shootout. I know that they have Schwartz as well as Tarasenko, but in a shootout, the Leafs just have way more firepower. So that's how I would handle the Leafs at this point, and I may do that. All right, Braves Cardinals. Let's get to work. 73 Fahrenheit clear, 8 miles per hour in. Dakota Hudson, 16-7, 3.35 ERA, 1.41 whip. Cards have been held to 1 run in their last 2 games. Man, So the question is, do we think that Hudson could get touched? Because if we think Hudson could get touched, I think that Keuchel will get touched. Tormino says, I think he'll be okay on short rest. Brandon Lugo says, I agree, Jimmy Keuchel gets hit today. I do not like this look for the Braves bringing back. I think it's almost a panicky move. Ronnie Christie says, anyone know what Keuchel's numbers are like on 3 days rest? I don't have those. Quackta says, I like the under in the Leafs game. Quackta, that should have been taken yesterday at 6.5. At 6, it's just, it's a mistake because it was available all day yesterday at 6.5, and I wish I had done that too. Ronnie Christie says, I like Hudson down the stretch. Okay, I'm going to make a move on the Cardinals here. Don Reed says, no need to go with first 5 under. Hudson has a good game. I agree. I'm going to take the Cardinals on the -1 line here. The Cardinals on the -1 line with their whole season in peril. Getting a -123 at 5 dimes on the money line. And on the -1.5. And I'm not even saying necessarily that, and Mally Mouse said Hudson's a lead. He just gives out walks. His K to walk ratio is bad. Thank you, Bleds. I did the best I could. That's why I took Saturday off. All right, -1.5 here. And I'm getting a +165 on the other end of that at 5 dimes. All right, let's lock that in. Okay, and then I've had enough time to think about this Leaf spot. I will take the Leafs on the -1 line here. Leafs -1. So the money line I'm getting with the Leafs is -126. That's available at Heritage. And on the -1.5. So we're going to have that stat too added to the stats for NHL. Puck line, -1 line, money line, overs, unders. We're going to have all 5 listed. Okay, so here, -1 line. So I'm getting on the puck line a +190, a +203 at Heritage. Wow, that's great. A +205 at William Hill. That's nuts. Wow, okay, +205 at William Hill. That's just crazy. That is absolutely nuts. Okay, lock that in. Jin Rami says, finally, yay. Okay, thank you. Jin Rami says, I'm not taking it, though. It's fine. That's fine. That's why I was thinking. Because I wanted to make a decision with all the information that I had and take some time with it. And I love you, Jin Rami. Okay. All right, so I'm on the Leafs on the -1 line. That's my 5th play of the NHL season. We're keeping things tight. I would take the Blue Jackets against the Sabres at home tonight, but I'm not going to. All right, I've not made a move on Astros Rays yet. You know I'm on the over in Monday Nighter at 46. I bet it at 46.5. Astros Rays no play, and I am on the Cardinals on the -1. All right. Let's move on to Dodgers Nationals. We have 14 more minutes before we're joined by Teddy Covers. 80 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 8 miles per hour out to left center. What went on in that ball game last night was special. The Dodgers are a very special team. Corbin was 1 strike away from getting out of it with the Nats up 2-1. And this Dodgers team grinds. There's Joey Vang in the house. Nice. 32-6-1. Wow, that's spectacular. Coactus says take the Sabres, Jimmy. No, I not that you're wrong by any stretch of the imagination, Coactus, but the setup doesn't make sense to me. Joey Vang, best week of the year. That's spectacular. Wow. The setup doesn't make sense to me. You have a team feeling good about themselves after just 2 games of the season. And we've seen what they've done historically on the road. Or even just last year, because his team was pretty much together last year. So, all right. Rod Zawacki says, shout out to Friday's UFC parlay by Anna Merrick. Yes, nice job, all of you guys. Okay. Not applicable says Russell Martin was a hero. It was funny because I was making fun of him. Here. Carlos Bro says, some rain expected here tonight. Wow, that's interesting because I didn't see that when I was going over the weather report. Thank you for sharing that, Carlos. Let's see what the weather is exactly here. And I don't know here. We got 11%. It starts out with a 5% chance of precipitation, then 11, then 17. So maybe the tiniest bit of rain. All right. And Ronnie Christie, Keiko's never started on 3 days rest in his career. There's Jonathan Succi in the house. Batter versus pitcher in that spot. With Greinke, they have a 534 OPS off him, 46 at-bats. With Morton, they hit him hard. But I still don't trust Keiko. Keuchel has nice numbers, 704 OPS against the lineup here of the Cards. And Dakota Hudson, they hit Dakota Hudson. But very small sample size, 20 at-bats. And he improved at the end of the year. All right. So with the Dodgers, let's look at pitcher versus batter against Rich Hill. They smash Rich Hill. The Nationals. Smash them. 1.087 OPS. 333 batting average. Wow. Smash them. 20 for 60 with 2 doubles, a triple, and 5 homers. Rendon is 2 for 6 with a homer against them. Cabrera 2 for 7 with a homer. Zimmerman 2 for 6 with 2 homers. Scherzer 179, 684 OPS. But Scherzer is not a guy I really want to trust right now. Tormino said Hudson was much better in the second half. I'm sticking with my Cardinals -1 spot. I'm fine with it. All right, Dodgers Nationals, 80 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 8 miles per hour, out to left center. Let's see the market moves here in this spot. Sorry, I'm on get the spreads and totals. Hill opens up at 8. Scherzer opened up at 8 for a total of -110. There's been a 1 cent move towards the over. Scherzer opens up at -135. There's been a 7 cent move towards the Dodgers. Not applicable on the Dodgers money line. Joe DeLeon also on the Dodgers money line. Tormino says, I think the best value is Nats team total over. I still don't trust Nats bullpen. I agree with that move. But I'm not going to mess with Rich Hill here, even though the numbers are big against him. Jin has Dodgers, Washington first 5 under 4.5. All the scoring comes after 5 most of the time in Dodgers games. And Jin's right, especially this year. 80 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 8 miles per hour, out to left center. Hill 4-1, 2.45 ERA, 1.13 whip. Max Scherzer 11-7, 2.92 ERA, 1.03 whip. Dodgers hitting 261, 824 OPS versus righties. Nationals are hitting 283, 828 OPS versus lefties. 3 September appearances. Hill allowed 1 run in just 5 2/3. You can't expect him to go that long. Dom Ricci, who's eating in MLB all year. His first 5 under, full game over. God, Dom. Wow, I love that look. Dom, first 5 under, full game over for our Dom Ricci. Gonna copy and paste that. All right, here we go. Copy and paster. All right, Jaden Belanger says, Mally Mal, tell your NBA plays on Twitter on fire. Shout out to our guy, Mally Mal. Mally Mal doing that work. J Money in the house. Love it. J Money rolling with us. So let's get to this spot here with the Dodgers Nationals. Break it down a little further. Rich Hill, 2-2, 4.08 ERA in 7 career games, 5 starts against Washington. But we just looked, and these guys hit him hard. Muncie's homered in each of his past 2 games for the Dodgers. Turner is just spectacular player. Spectacular in the clubhouse, on the field. He just does everything right. Soto, 2-run homer on Sunday night. Rendon batting .300 in the series. Scherzer, 3.78 ERA. Is Scherzer in the same realm as Kershaw when it comes to the playoffs? Are these guys we just don't trust? Are these guys that we just don't trust? Jay Money says everyone and their grandma will be on the Yanks tonight. Raymond Reichart says NBA coming soon. We're excited. Very, very, very excited. Okay. I don't trust Scherzer, but I don't want to fade him. So, in this Dodgers National spot, this is just a game I'm going to watch. There's Dominique Jackson in the house as well. And Jorge Don't Play says, you are right. My mom actually is on the Yankees run line. Like that. Jorge Don't Play in the house. It comes down to that. Simply put, I don't want to fade Max Scherzer with that look in his eyes, and I don't want him with his numbers. So, with that said and done, I don't want it. I don't want to make a move on that game. All right, let's move on to if Scherzer was to get touched for 3 or 4 runs in the first 5, it wouldn't surprise me. If they don't have a hit against them in the first 5, it wouldn't surprise me. And there's Adesanya, easy casher, nice job, Jonathan Succi. All right. And Jin Rami says, not me. I'm on Twins plus 139. Let's get into that look right now. Jin Rami on the Twins at plus 139. If you wanted them now, plus 137. There is a 140 at 5 times. And it opened at 126. So Jin Rami did wait for the perfect time to pounce. And J Money loving it. Severino Odorizzi. So there's been an 11-cent move towards the New York Yankees, who are on this record-breaking run against one opponent in the playoffs. This total opened out at 9 at minus 110. It's now over 9 at minus 116. So a 6-cent move towards the over. Antoine Seymour says, Jimmy, I don't think Scherzer makes it that long tonight. Dodgers on a mission. Feels that way. Feels that way. Not applicable says Yankees all day. Let's talk about it. Kind of cold in the Twin Cities tonight. 60 Fahrenheit, clear, 5 miles per hour, sideways. Severino, 12 innings under his belt this year. Just 12 innings. 17 Ks. 6 walks, 0 homers. Odorizzi, 50-7, 3.51 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 159 innings, 178 Ks, 53 walks, 16 homers. Yanks hitting 265, 820 OPS versus righties, almost identical numbers from the Twins, 264, 817 OPS versus righties. What we have to, the elephant in the room is the Yankees keep beating the Twins. Now this is a different Twins team. It's up to you how much you want to take in about these stats. 12 consecutive games over the Twins. The Twins have dropped an MLB record 15 straight playoff games. It just depends on you. To me, the 12 against the Twins in a row is the bigger issue than the 15 straight. This is a different team to me. Teams winning game 1 and game 2. Out of 30 opportunities, they've swept 18 times. 18 sweeps. They've gone on to win the series 27 out of 30 times. Severino 0-1, 4.15 ERA in 2 career starts. A. Hilly says dogs could be barking. Our guy Dom Ricci says Sevy could be rusty. He's only had 1 start in his lifetime at Target Field. This will be his 2nd career start. He lost 3-1 in September 12, 2018. Who cares? Odorizzi, 7-9, 4.71 ERA, 18 career appearances, 17 starts against the Yankees. He's pitched at least 5 innings and allowed 3 runs or fewer in all but 1 start since the All-Star break. And that 1 start was here at Target Field against these very Yankees. 9 runs on 10 hits in 4 innings. Minnesota 46-35 at Target Field. But they lost to the Yankees 2 out of 3 games there. Mally Mal says Twins won't touch him. Tom Marino says Twins' record was inflated because of the weak division they played in. Their team is getting exposed. Rich G says Twins are trash. Eric Jones says all MLB games under today. Gonna copy and paste that. All MLB games under today, says our Eric Jones. Non-applicable says Houston versus New York is a classic matchup. I hope we get it. Jin says everything you're saying is why I love the first 5 over 4.5. My only concern would be Sevy. He's the volatility. I guess they both have a ton of volatility. Let me take that back. Don Ricci leans Twins money line. Already bet first 5 under. Guru says Sevy looks solid. The Twins are not on the same planet as the Stros and Yanks. Don Corleone says Yanks team total is another look. Let's see what we get on the Yanks team total right now at Bet365. Let's take a quick look. 5 minutes before we are joined by Donnie right side. Flipper 13 in the house. So I bet a little Twins at plus 142. And my guy Damon saying Indians were way overachievers because of that division. There's Corey Richardson in the house ready to get to work. All right, let's see. MLB team totals. And we are getting a team total of 4.5 for the Yankees at minus 130. 3.5 for the Twins at minus 135. Joe Anisi says, who do I trust more, Odorizzi or Sevy? Easy Sevy, plus Yankees bats and bullpen much better than the Twins. Tomino says, Twins bullpen is trash. Good lineups, hammer them. Jermel Wright says, Yankees team total, cash both games. Daryl Lyles on the Browns 49ers under. That concerns me. I'm on the over. And says Rays, Twins, Cardinals, and Nats. That's from our guy Daryl Lyles in the house. Copy and paste. And copy and paste. There we go. Lock that in. All right. Rod Zawacki says Houston Braves World Series coming. And Ron Casey fan, update spreadsheet, St. Louis minus 125. Good, I like hearing that. I like hearing that a lot. This is a tough spot for Keuchel. And I understand what Torino's saying about how, he's a location guy who throws softly. He shouldn't be too hurt, but... Joe Anisi says, plus Twins went to bullpen early in both games 1 and 2. I don't think that hurts him that much because of the day off, but I hear what you're saying. Kevin Pine liking Twins first half, Yankees second half. Donkey Capping saying, Suchi, you out here, bruh? Suchi is out here. My guy YC said, like that Niners hat. Can't wait for the game tonight. We will be going live with the stars of the Sports Keg. I think I'm going to be going to Flash's new joint, checking out his new joint. So we'll be shooting from Flash's house. Raymond Reichart says, Yankees first 5 -1/2. My favorite look so far. Mally Mal says, Jim got the winner on his head tonight, Monday Night Football. I wish I took him at 3.5. And I expect it to get that back down to 4. I expect a ton of Browns late money. Wow, so what? So didn't Heritage go down to 4.5? Let's look at this quickly, because they're back at 5. No, so was it Bookmaker? Yes, Bookmaker went down to 4.5. So Bookmaker has gone back to 4.5 twice, and each time the Niners have been hammered as soon as they've done that. Very interesting. So they're back at 5. So Bookmaker went to 4.5 at 9:17 a.m., hammered to 5 immediately. Didn't last the full minute. Then they went back to 4.5 at 9:20, and it lasted 1 minute before it went back to the Niners there. All right. Jaden Belange says, are the Niners your team, Jimmy? Yes. Yes, they are my team since I was younger. My family, mom's family, all from San Francisco. Danny Nudini says, Monday Night Football first half under. Noli knows in the house. Noli, you are great on the Who Bangin' Talk Show. I watched it on, was it Saturday or Sunday? I forget what day I watched it, but you were very, very sharp. Great capper. Jerry Beatty says, everyone is correct on Atlanta Cardinals pitching. Doesn't the over look like the play? I just think that Keuchel, first time ever on 3 days rest, is a spot that I want to attack, and that's what I'm doing here. That is what that's how I'm handling that spot. Dutch Boy Fresh says, I don't think Braves have the pitching. Don Reed says, Braves aren't beating the Dodgers or Nats if they pull off the miracle. It's not a miracle when you're up 2-1, but I get it. Kevin Pine says, money's been on the Browns. I see 60% on them. Nice. Thank you for the heads up there. And Guru says, I'm going to love when I get to come back tomorrow and tell you guys the same thing I told you the last 2 weeks. Browns win outright. Guru. Coming from a Bay Area guy, man. The Niners did something bad to Guru at some point. I love it, Guru. It's very, very exciting. All right, it is time to bring in the ringer. It is time to bring in a pro to this scene. Bring in our guy, Teddy Covers, coming to us live from Las Vegas, Nevada, to start a new week. And I'm excited, very excited about this new week. New hope, new week. Teddy Covers in the house. Teddy, welcome to the show. How are you doing on this Monday morning?
I'm doing okay, Jimmy. Mostly a kiss my sister type of weekend. And I'm really pissed off about the SBR contest. Did you see what I did? I don't know if anyone saw what I did. I talked all week about betting Central Michigan. I bet Central Michigan. Central Michigan killed them. And I went back and looked at my results, and I entered the play the wrong way.
Oh,
which is
no.
something, I entered laying with Eastern. I'm like, oh my God. It's just, which is something that with a bet, you always double check it. I never walk away without double checking it. Whatever reason, I didn't double check when I entered the contest plays and ended up, I got a right side winner. Oops. I entered the wrong side. So that was pretty frustrating, but nothing exciting, no huge profits, no huge scores, didn't get crushed. It was just one of those kind of kiss your sister kind of weekends. What about you, Jimmy?
It was a very enjoyable weekend for me. I turned 40 on Friday. So I took Saturday off. So the only college football I did was Thursday and Friday. So I went 2-1 on those games. Although I didn't end up betting San Jose State out of fear. I did give it as official play on Monday, and then through the whole week I didn't end up getting to the window with it. Rafa, could you put up the college football record, though? A very small change. Very small changes. I took Saturday off to celebrate turning 40, which I'm excited about. Getting older in life, this makes me happier. I'm no concerns about getting older at all. It was a fun weekend. And then I went 3-1 in NFL, and I was at nice. 200 a pop, so I cleared about 365, 370 in cash on Sunday. And so overall, it was great. It was a very, very fun weekend, and I'm ready to get back to work. And I was going over a lot of plays from you and from the chat, and there was a lot of winners. In the chat, so I wish I had hammered a little more. But, sometimes you just need to regroup. And now I'm very excited to get back at it, which I think if I had tried to pull off Saturday after the celebration on Friday night, it would have just been ugly. So pretty thankful for everything, and I'm ready to get to work. Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, Jimmy. I can still remember my 40th. 39 was a tough one for me. Because then you're like, all right, this is the end. This is the last year I ever get. Once you hit 40, it's all right. This is just the way it is from now on. So good. Congratulations on reaching the age of majority. You're on the back half now, buddy. Enjoy.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I think the back half will be smoother than the first half. So I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. Well, let's get to work, Teddy. First off, Monday Night Football. I'm on the over 46. I got that here officially earlier in the week on the show. I bet it at 46.5. We now see 47.5s on the board. Let me pull it up right now. Sorry, I still got baseball up. I now am seeing 48s. 48s. I want that to keep rising. We have seen 4.5s pop up in the last hour. There's now a 4.5 that you wager. I mentioned 4.5 a couple times at Bookmaker. 5s otherwise. I wish I took the Niners at 3.5. I did not. Do you have a look on Monday Night Football?
So I, too, have the over in my pocket. I advise my clients to play the over tonight. That's a wager that makes a ton of sense to me. I'm a believer in Jimmy G and the 49ers offense, and I'm a believer in Mayfield and the Browns offense. I think they got a lot accomplished with the win in Baltimore last week. So I do see touchdowns tonight, and I do expect a relatively high-scoring ball game after another under cash on Sunday Night Football last night. From a side standpoint, what did Guru say? Browns outright? Was that what he said, Jimmy? Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. I don't want an undefeated team off a bye week. That's fat and happy territory. And I continue to look at Cleveland as being a better team than they showed over the first month of the season. I think they figured some stuff out in Baltimore, and I look at them as a bet-on squad moving forward. In the line, again, San Fran has a very impressive statistical profile. Lots of good yardage numbers, lots of good yards per play numbers. Take that with a grain of salt. They played 3 relatively. Look what they did to open the season. Week, and week. And they got the Pittsburgh team when they were most assuredly weak. So I'm not convinced that the 49ers statistical profile is as good as it looks. I'm a San Fran believer. I got over Niners 8 in my pocket for the season win total, but 4.5, 5 is too much. Give me Cleveland plus the points.
Makes sense. I think it's too much as well. The main reason for the over to me is pretty simple, and it's all about the 49ers side of the field. The first off, no Staley with the broken leg. Man, would we need him against Myles Garrett, who looks better and better every game. He looks like he's the best defense player. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say the best with Khalil Mack out there, but a very, very top 3 or 4 defensive player in the NFL. And then Ahkello Witherspoon hurt. So the two most dangerous spots of this Browns team, Odell Beckham and Myles Garrett, are both going to be able to have a much easier time without Staley and Witherspoon. And that is why I'm on the over in this spot. Monday Nighter. Both Teddy and I on the over. Are you going to make a move at 5, or are you just going to stick with the over?
I have not bet it yet. I may well bet it before kickoff. We'll see. We'll read the tea leaves today. I'm not convinced I'll bet it, but I would say it's likely that I'll have some, at least a taste of Cleveland in my pocket. If I take the +5, I'm taking a little bit of money line as well. Just a little sprinkle. See if we can turn a little bit into a lot. Of course, we know how well the road teams have done all season long in the NFL. We know how well the underdogs have done through the first 5 weeks of the campaign. These aren't trends that are going away. And again, you bet all the road teams again yesterday. You made money again yesterday. So no hesitation backing the road squad here in a game that I expect them to be competitive in.
Well, let's go from Monday Night Football to playoff baseball. First off, we have a game popping off in an hour and 10 minutes. Greinke Morton, Game 3, Astros-Rays. I have stayed off of it. At this point. A big market move towards Morton and the Rays. At Pinnacle, Houston opened up at -143. They're now -125, so 18-cent move towards them. The under is starting to get touched a little bit. It actually has gone a 4-cent move since the opening line to the over at Pinnacle, but the under is starting to get touched again. I'm off this game at this point. Do you have a move on Astros-Rays?
The only way I would play it would be Tampa today, and I did not pull the trigger, and I missed the best of the number, and there it was. It was gone. It's a clear Rays spot in theory with Morton at home. A ton of confidence in that team with Morton on the hill. They talked about it. All the quotes coming out of that locker room saying, hey, we felt a whole lot better in the wild card game because we had Charlie Morton out there. And I would expect some of that again today. It's hard to step in front of Greinke. And especially in this price range, and the Astros lineup is in a different stratosphere than the Rays lineup. So like I said, I missed the best of the number. I lean Tampa, but at this stage, I don't bet it.
I'm not going to bet it either. I'm not going to make too many moves in baseball moving forward, but I did take the Cardinals on the -1 line. Dakota Hudson, second half of the season, was very good. I first thing that my eyes look at, of course, is 136 Ks, 86 walks. By far the worst K to walk ratio of any starting pitcher in the playoffs this year. But Keuchel on 3 days rest. I feel like it's almost I know that they weren't even going to put Teher on the roster, and who am I to say that maybe they should trust him here after what? He allowed 14 runs his last 11 innings. But Keuchel on 3 days rest, first time in his career. I'm getting -123 on the money line and +165 on the run line to make a nice +-1 line. That's how I'm handling the Cardinals here. Do you have a move on Braves Cardinals?
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Jimmy. You and I are on the same page today. I don't generally back a lot of teams off a blown save loss in the postseason, especially without a day off and time to regroup. But I'm not buying Atlanta. And there's been one constant for a decade plus in MLB. That's when the Cards face elimination, you just bet on them. That team's been really, for whatever reason, that team has been extraordinarily good in this role. And I know it was different manager, and I know it was different players. That's an organization that I want when they're the backs are to the wall a little bit. I think that series goes to Game 5, and I'm with you on St. Louis. I didn't lay the 1.5. I just, I think laying the price is the way to go with the Cards. I don't do a lot with run lines in the postseason, and I'm not going to talk you out of it. You're maximizing your ROI. But the other issue, again, we talk so much about starting pitching. Jimmy, these games get decided by bullpens. They do. Playoff. If you throw out all the starting pitching in baseball in the postseason and just say, I'm going to focus on whose bullpen can get outs, I think St. Louis is the better of these two pens. And I know that Martinez blew the save yesterday and yada yada. But when the starters come out, I trust the Cardinals bullpen to get outs a little bit more than Atlanta's. St. Louis or pass for this better.
Beautiful. I like it. We are off and rolling. Next up, Scherzer, Hill. And for me, it's simple. We broke it down, this full game down earlier on the show, but to me, it's very simple. If Scherzer was to go get touched for 3 or 4 runs in the first 5, I wouldn't be surprised. If Scherzer doesn't allow a hit in the first 5, I wouldn't be that surprised. I have to stay off of this game. Dodgers, Nationals, do you have a look?
I've had the Dodgers in game 1. I had the Dodgers in game 2. I had the Dodgers in game 3. And you better believe I'm going to have the Dodgers again in game 4 at the plus price. And again, when it comes down to these two bullpens, Scherzer's not going to throw a complete game shutout. If he does, I'll tip my cap to him and I'll lose my bet. But, he came out of the bullpen in game 2. We saw him be somewhat ineffective to open up the playoffs in the wild card game against Milwaukee, where he was touched and he was hit. And once Scherzer leaves the game, no Corbin tonight. Oops, that was a mistake. A pretty big mistake because, well, whatever. No Corbin available this evening for the Nats. Strasburg's going game 5. He's not coming out of the pen, which means they got to go with their relievers. And I don't want any Washington relievers, not a one of them, against that Dodgers lineup. So I took my chance. I got LA in pocket. And I've advised my clients to do the same. In my mind, it's, and if they lose today, I'll have them again game 5 against Strasburg. I know Strasburg dominated the Dodgers, but this is a Dodgers team that I expect to win the series. They're saying all the right things. They're taking the good at-bats. We saw what they did last night with 2 outs. With 2 outs and 2 strikes. They set an MLB playoff record with 8 RBIs, 2 outs, 2 strikes. That's pretty good. That's what LA's capable of doing. I'll back him again today. And again, no chance for the Nats coming off the pretty ugly loss yesterday. No our chance to rest, recuperate, anything. Got to go back on the field today. I think that could be a problem. Dodgers for me.
Makes sense. And, I was just thinking while you were talking and looking at what we have in store, I was like, there's all these people in other worlds, in other businesses and other things that just despise Mondays. And we get to come back to a fresh week with a playoff Greinke Morton popping off in like an hour and 3 minutes. Yeah. 4 playoff games, Monday Night Football, 2 hockey games. This is incredibly fun, incredibly enjoyable. What a Monday we have in store. Next up, we have Sevi Odorizzi. Sevi and the Yankees open up at minus 137, now at minus 149. This total's crept up 6 cents at Pinnacle from the opening at 9, still at 9. And Sevi only 12 innings this year, coming back from injury, 17 Ks, 6 walks in those 12 innings, hasn't allowed a home run. Odorizzi was great in the second half, except for one spot. That was at Target Field against these Yankees. So then we have these big stats that are just staring us in the face. So first off, 27 of the 30 teams who've won Game 1 and Game 2 have gone on to win the series. That's the easy one. 18 of them have swept. So 18 of 30 times. The team winning the first 2 games has won Game 3, 18 of 30 times. Then we have the Yankees beating the Twins 12 straight times, and the Twins have lost 15 straight postseason games. This is wild. This is a wild, wild baseball game. 60 Fahrenheit tonight at Target Field. Do you have a look on Yankees Twins?
So when it's too obvious, and the Yankees are too obvious here, given all the facts that you said, given that Odorizzi's only bad start came against the Yankees, at Target Field, and the problem the Twins have had, and et cetera, et cetera. And the Yankees are the better of these two teams, and they're the organization that has the more, it's a pretty good organization the Yankees have that you don't want to take lightly. From a side standpoint, I'm not betting it. From a total standpoint, we talked about that at the start of the series. Under the only series I was interested in betting overs in was this series. And we talked about why. I'm like, hey, MLB postseason where overs go to die. But when you have 2 teams that are hitting bombs, well, that can change, obviously. And we've seen this be the only relatively high-scoring series so far. I wouldn't argue with I agree with the over money. I wouldn't argue with the over money. I don't trust Severino yet. I like Odorizzi. I don't trust him against this lineup. And I would not be surprised at all if tonight's game is, once again, going over the total. Even though that game 2 sat there at 8-1, felt like 100 years before they finally got the Twins got the top of the ninth when they scored the second run. They got there, and I would expect runs in bunches again tonight. I like the over.
Yeah, I that makes sense to take the over here. Really, really does. I wonder if I should make the move now. It makes sense. We'll talk more about it throughout the day today, but I don't want to come back here and see a 9.5.
Let me jump in real quick.
Yeah.
If you want the over, I would do it sooner rather than later. All the leading indicator books are telling us that this total is not likely to go down anytime soon.
I do like the over. I really, really do here with Severino Odorizzi. I mean, even if Severino throws a gem, you know that the Yanks can get to Odorizzi. BMAC23 says cold and mini tonight, 60 Fahrenheit. 60 Fahrenheit. I mean, it was cold in New York in Game 1. What do you think about the 60 Fahrenheit keeping the scores down?
I don't think I'm not worried about a 60 Fahrenheit like I would be worried about a 40 Fahrenheit. We'll get there before October is done. But that's not going to talk me out of an over.
You know, I'm going to make a move now on it. I'm going to make a move now on the over 9 right now. So let's see. Line shopping quickly. Sorry, I was on college football. Let me just quickly go back to MLB here. And totals here at sportsbookreview.com SBR odds page. And I'm getting a 9 over 9 at minus 115. And that's available at Bet365 Heritage and 5 dimes. And when Bet365 goes to minus 115, they don't go to minus 120. They go up to 9.5. So that should be happening very, very good. Dutch Boy Fresh says so many bats and suspect pitching over. I agree. And Guru says 60 not cold for Minnesota, maybe in Cali, but not here. I agree with all of that. Okay, there we go. I've made my second play in MLB Yankees Twins. Let's move on to college football. So we've already had Matt Randall give us his Monday looks. And so far this year, on his Monday looks, he's 13-7, looking pretty good. We have Wednesday night football, a couple games on Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. So I have Matt Randall's looks in my pocket ready to ask you, but let's ask Teddy Covers, what are the spots that jumped out at you when you first took a look at this card?
So first, I want to compliment you for using the SBR odds page and finding the best available number. You cannot find better than 9 minus 115 anywhere right now on that over. And that's one of the benefits of, having that page bookmarked and using it every single day. I encourage you, so well done, Jimmy. Which is not, you know what you're doing, obviously. We talk about Monday looks. I made 4 bets.
Ooh.
They were all around key numbers. I don't know if I'm going to hold any of them, but I'm looking to get in around the key numbers. Last week, I also made 4 bets right off the opener. Split them out 2 and 2. Let me get that if you want me to recap. I bet Troy, Missouri over. That was fun.
Oh man.
That was really fun.
I'm sorry to interrupt
there. I was a loser. I bet Ole Miss. That was a winner. I bet Army. That was a loser. I bet Central. I didn't bet Central, but I was going to bet Central. That was a winner. That was a 4 looks from last Monday. I was waiting for the 7. Never got the 7. I got 6.5 in pocket, though. This week, again, and just random that it was 4 bets last week and 4 bets this week. What I'm mostly doing is looking for stuff that I expect the number to move. So this is what I bet. I bet Nevada, game number 182. Nevada minus 2.5 against Hawaii. They're not playing Hawaii. Yeah, they are. No, they just played Hawaii. Hang on a second. Who the hell did I bet?
San Jose State.
That was Fresno. What the hell am I doing?
Nevada, San Jose State?
I'm getting all San Jose. Thank you. I wrote down the wrong team. I'm like, I just wrote down what I bet, and then I'm like, who's the next? Yeah, Nevada 2.5 against San Jose. So San Jose State, I don't know. Again, the final scores look great. San Jose, the last 3 weeks, covering. They're plus 11 in turnovers, plus 4, plus 2, plus 5. We have Nevada coming off a really embarrassing. I mean, they got humiliated at home by Hawaii, then they had a bye week. I think the spot is right, and I love the fact that San Jose, nobody's looking at turnover margin in college football. So when you find a team that's plus 11 the last 3 weeks, and they've covered 3 weeks in a row, you go, oh, wow, they're really good. Well, then maybe take take that with a grain of salt. And, of course, the 2.5, the key there, was because we're worried that this, the line's going to move to 3. It already moved. It was starting to move to 3 at a lot of books. So I locked in at 2.5. Gainer 197, Fresno. So 2 in the Mountain West. Nevada minus 2. I took Fresno plus 3.5 against Air Force. Air Force is coming off they had a huge game against Boise, and then a national TV game against San Jose, and then the big game against Navy. And now they're laying a price here against a Fresno team coming off a bye. And I know that Fresno's defense has had 0 success against Air Force. Of course, the last time Fresno faced Air Force wasn't in the current era at Fresno with Jeff Tedford. I thought that I wasn't sure the hook was going to last there. So I took Fresno plus 3.5, put that in pocket again, number 197. This one's mostly gone now. 137. It took Iowa State minus 9.5 at West Virginia. It's mostly 10s now. Even at 10, I wouldn't hesitate to lock in on this one. West Virginia defensively is a little bit dicey, and Iowa State showed us that's the Iowa State team we expect to see all year. The last week against TCU, that squad has woken up, and with 2 early season losses, that's a mission team right now. Iowa State, they're pretty good, and I thought, again, at 9.5, I wanted to get it before it got to double digits. If you shop around, there were still a couple of 9.5s that I saw right before I came on air, but the broader market has moved to 10 on that game, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up further. And last but not least, betting number 151, I took the Washington Huskies minus 6.5 at Arizona. Market's crashing on Washington a little bit. I'm not crashing on Washington. This team's like Iowa State last week. They're really good. They're really good defensively. They played a couple of games that didn't work out their way. I think there's value with the Huskies here against an Arizona team that might be a little fat and happy off that win at Colorado. And I don't see Khalil Tate having a big game in this one. So, and again, by the key number, I wanted the 6.5 in pocket. Wasn't sure if that was going to move to 7. It might not. But when you're seeing something at 6.5 and you're like, all right, do I, don't I? Unless you see indicators it's going to go to 7, sometimes I'll pull. So I pulled minus 6.5 on Washington, and we'll see if it goes to 7. I did well. If it goes down, then I'm an idiot. But it wouldn't be the first time, and it won't be the last time.
I love it. It's so exciting hearing your early looks to the week. And I, as much as I was celebrating all weekend, I was following that Troy, Missouri spot. And, 3 points in the second half, I couldn't. It's just.
Well, so let me talk about the game real quick. So, obviously, you have 49 at the break for an over 66 and 66 and a half. I know a lot of people have the hook or even a little higher than that, but and a close 65. The late money came on the under. So we have 49 at the break, but Kelly Bryant got hurt on the last touchdown pass right before halftime, and he got hurt on kind of a cheap shot. I thought Missouri might come out in the second half and be, hey, screw you guys, punch in but they came out in the second half and just say, hey, let's kill clock. We're not going to worry about our backup QB right now, and their backup quarterback is not very good. Which we know now, if Brian is hurt this week, that Missouri may not be a bet on. We'll see what his injury situation was, but that was pretty frustrating when you have it half right and then it just doesn't break at all. And I got half wrong. I thought Troy was going to be able to move the football against Missouri's defense. They couldn't. So, and in that sense, I didn't deserve to win the bet.
It was just unlucky. I was following that and following a bunch of different Cappers action, but just staying on the sidelines. Let's talk about action that we have popping out. And if you guys have questions, start throwing them my way. I've copied and pasted a few questions for Teddy. Let's start looking at Matt Randall's early looks and hear what Teddy Covers has to say about Matt Randall. Again, Matt Randall's early looks, his Monday looks are 13-7 so far. And Noli knows, says Jimmy NHL, I'm on St. Louis, Toronto, under 6. Noli knows, I get that, but sitting there yesterday at 6.5 is when we should have pulled the trigger on that total. And so even if I think that's the right direction, I'm just not going to do it with that half goal gone. But I get why you think that way. It's going to be a very exciting game in Canada's center of the universe in Toronto. Okay, let's get to it. First off, we have a spot here, 141-142, Ball State, Eastern Michigan. Open at Pinnacle with Ball State at -1, now -2.5. And our Matt Randall likes Eastern Michigan at home at +2. What's your first take on Matt Randall's first play on Monday?
I agree wholeheartedly. It's on the short list already. I didn't pull the trigger on it, and it's a game that I wanted to look at. But what happened last week at Central Michigan, first of all, that's not the Eastern Michigan squad that we know. They played a bad game. Second is we talked all this time about how we really like Central, and Central's a really undervalued commodity. And third, you have a Ball State team coming off an outright upset win at Northern Illinois, a game where they were out-yarded by more than 100 yards. And rallied, 24-3 second half. I'll give them credit. They played a heck of a second half against the Huskies. But that had a lot to do with turnovers. I think Eastern is the better of these two teams. And frankly, this is why I'm surprised this line is where it is. What's my number on that game? What's the 341? Or 141, I should say. I thought my number came a little short. Yeah. My number came Eastern 141, 142. My number came Eastern -1. for whatever it's worth. So that might be one I should bet today. I'm going to look at that maybe when we get off air. Good call, man. I wouldn't talk you out of Eastern Michigan at all.
All right, we're off and rolling right now. Next spot on Matt's card, 121, 122, Louisville at 19th ranked, Wake Forest. Wake Forest opening at -6.5, and they are still there, and that is who Matt Randall's backing. Wake Forest at -6.5. What do you think there?
So Louisville's had some pretty ugly defensive numbers of late. And by pretty ugly, I mean really ugly. The Florida State, they give up 522 yards. Against Boston College, it was 563. And once you start seeing teams coming off a bye and then getting smacked around defensively, the defense couldn't hold the lead, couldn't hold the cover in that game. That's a big concern. For me, all that being said, it's not like with the Demon Deacons defense is all that, I mean, they too gave up over 500 yards to Boston College. But, of course, the big difference, Wake coming off the bye, and we talk about October buys. We talk about, especially, October buys maybe more than any. These buys are very meaningful. When you have, you played 4 or 5 weeks in a row, you get a chance to rest, regroup. The coaching staff gets a little time off. They get to really break down film. Your adjustments for teams coming off a bye at this time of the year need to be at least a point or more from your true powering number. So, all that said, I'm not convinced that Wake's a touchdown better than Louisville. My gut reaction here has me looking at the over before I looked at the side, and that's just my gut, my Monday morning take.
Okay, that is the next spot. We have very exciting spots that Matt Randall's on right now. The next is a very interesting spot. 179, 187 ranked Florida at 5th ranked LSU, and Matt Randall likes Florida Gators plus this 13.5 point spread. What do you think of back in the dog gear against a very dangerous LSU?
And for what it's worth, my line for Louisville Wake Forest was Wake -7. So it's certainly not a game where my powering numbers say anything but Wake in that contest. My Florida LSU powering number was 11.5. I was wrong about Florida last week. They were the better team than Auburn, although that had a lot to do with Auburn. Bo Nix did not play well. I'm not stepping in front of LSU right now. Not going to do it. So I don't argue with the concept. Certainly, this is a step up in defensive class for LSU, but I haven't seen anything that makes me think that Florida can trade points with that team. And LSU is not a team I'm still viewing Florida at a different class level than the Georgias / Alabamas / who the hell are they playing?
Florida LSU.
Man, it's Monday morning. Florida, yeah. I just don't put Florida in that same category as the Georgia, Alabama, and the other elite teams from the SEC West. So and LSU's who they're playing. That's what I couldn't think of up here. I'm sitting there going, no, they just beat Auburn, and I said that there was a class difference between Auburn and Florida last week, and there wasn't. I still think that Georgia and I think that has to do with offensively. Alabama, Georgia, LSU have an offense that is we've seen it now. It's better than Auburn's, and I'm not stepping in front of LSU. But at the same time, you got a good read on it. I mean, if you're riding Florida, ride them. I got no problem with that. You had a good defensive underdog catching double digits. It's not a game I'm going to bet personally. So when I'm not betting something, I don't want to talk anyone out or in. I'll just tell you what I'm thinking about the game. And my thought is that LSU is a different animal than what Florida just faced.
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense. LSU, a very, very dangerous, strong squad. The last look on Matt Randall's Monday card is, well, I have it right in front of me. Here we go. And you've already talked about it. Iowa State, West Virginia. He's on the other side backing West Virginia with the points. So we've already broken down that game, so we know what Teddy feels there. So let's get into questions. We have questions coming in for Teddy. First off, our guy Jaden Belanger says, Jimmy, can you... Oh, and we just did that. Sorry. Okay, we just handled Florida LSU from Jaden Belanger. Okay, from Jin. Jin's first look on this card is App State money line. Let me get to App State. Sorry, I should give you a number here.
It's right at the top of the card.
Yeah, on Wednesday, App State, Louisiana, Lafayette opened at -1, is now -3 at Pinnacle on a plus line. What do you think of backing App State this Wednesday?
My line is App State -3, and I'll tell you exactly what they're betting. Okay, they're betting yardage. That's why Lafayette's getting the money here. Lafayette against Liberty +231, against Texas Southern +512, against Ohio U +109, against Georgia Southern +188. They've had these huge yardage edges, and of course they are 5-0 against the spread so far this season. So we're not talking about a monster betting bandwagon, but it is something of a betting bandwagon. And when you have a team like that, and again, a lot of it's turnovers. Although they were -2 against Georgia Southern and still won the game by 2 scores, and of course, in this instance, both teams rested off the bye. But I think App State, again, from the eye test, App State's the better of these two teams, and that's the only way I would look in this one. I agree with the take.
I like it. Jin's next look is on Thursday. 107-108, Syracuse, NC State. Liking NC State minus the 3.5 that's available right now. It did open at -3. What do you think about his look on NC State?
So my number for the game came NC State 3. NC State's last win and cover came week 1 against East Carolina. You know what I mean? All this team has done since then is disappoint. I'm not super excited about NC State right now. I'm not, to be perfectly honest. So, and it's not, again, this isn't a situation where I'm running to the window to bet Syracuse. I'm not sold on Syracuse either. Not even a little bit. Cash that ticket with them against Liberty, and that's the only time I've bet Syracuse this year, and I am not in any hurry to do it again necessarily. Not a game I'm going to get involved with, likely.
The next look on Jin's card is on Thursday evening, the final game, 105-106, Louisiana Monroe, Texas State. He's backing Louisiana Monroe minus 2.5. It did open at -3. What do you think of that look, ULM?
Yeah, so my number came Monroe -5. And maybe I'm giving their offense too much credit, but, I mean, that offense has moved the football against everybody. They put up 575 against Memphis. They put up 419 against Florida State. And obviously, the Warhawks, some of that has to do with even the Iowa State game where they got blown off the field and gave up 45 after halftime in that contest. They had 13 at the break. They moved the football in that contest. But we talked about the bye. I didn't put enough for the bye here. Texas State is coming off a week off, and they played a little bit of defense. Which is something that Louisiana Monroe is a little bit short on. But my number says you want the road team here. Not one that I've got a strong opinion on Monday morning.
We have more questions coming in here. I got Jay Money with the question. I also got Brody with the question. He says, Teddy Covers, I understand you're a Michigan alum, and I'm sure you have faith in your alma mater, but Michigan's offense is awful. Shea Patterson's looking bad. Do you think Michigan covers -20 at Illinois?
So let me make this very clear, okay? I have no hesitation betting against my alma. When I graduated Michigan, my senior year, I'm going to swear, Jimmy. Is that okay? You mind if I drop an F-bomb?
I would be honored.
Okay. Michigan fucked me my senior year for financial aid. Absolutely fucked me. They're like, okay, you're close to graduating, ha. And they left me with all this unmet need, and there was a political, whatever. And then after that, Michigan, the Fab Five was my favorite team of all time. Bar none. Loved, knew those guys, loved those guys, respected that team to the utmost. And then they voluntarily took down the banners. There was Mary Sue Robinson, the president at the time. Oh, we're gonna self-comply. I got no love lost for Michigan. All right, and no problem betting against the Wolverines. Well, Wolverines were playing for the national title. I bet against them. Yes, I'm a Michigan alumni, but when it comes to seeing things clearly for Michigan, I got no problems fading this squad. All that being said, I think Michigan is still undervalued. All right, Illinois' defense ain't Iowa's defense. All right, not close. And this is a step down in defensive class for the Wolverines. And it's not like their offense is hopeless. Right? They've made a lot of mistakes. They haven't been sharp. Shea Patterson hasn't been good. It's not a hopeless unit. Iowa's defense is hopeless. Or Illinois' defense is hopeless. If you watch the Minnesota game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They had no chance in that game. You know, the Gophers did whatever they wanted to. They ran over Illinois, and you know, it's not a cheap price to lay with the Wolverines. I'm not going to get to the betting window with Michigan this week, but I'm not excited about the Illinois side of the equation.
You're getting a ton of love. Ton of love from the chat. Dutch Boy Fresh says, Teddy got me rolling this morning. Bookie Lover Q, Teddy is hilarious. Jason Kelly, Teddy is straight fire today. I love it. Let's move on to another look. This one from our NBA expert, Jay Money is Money, a.k.a. Revenge Game Jay. He wants to know 191, 192. He says, love Army -4 over Western Kentucky. Teddy covers. What do you think about Army over Western Kentucky?
191, 192. My number is Army 7. So it certainly points in that direction. And it's a situation where, you know, Tulane looked good last week, didn't they? I mean, that was impressive, what Tulane was able to do against that Army defense. Western Kentucky's not going to do that against Army's defense. That being said, Western Kentucky's got, again, you look for these smaller conference schools that have a defense, and they're going to be good point spread teams. And Western Kentucky has that level of defense where they're shutting teams down, where they're capable of shutting teams down, where they're capable of forcing turnovers in bunches. And that it does concern me laying a price here with Army. My number says Army. I don't know that I get to the betting window with it. That's one I'll think about.
Gonna keep thinking about this one. Let's close. There's my guy Ish Kurt in the house. Let's close on a big late game on Saturday. Nuclear Skull says USC covers. Tom Marino says book is inconsistent. I'd lean USC if I can get 11. USC Notre Dame 199-200. Notre Dame opening up at -11 and -109. They're still there -11 and -108, but all the other books have moved to 11.5. What do you think about this spot backing USC off the bye?
So from a straight talent standpoint, there's a single-digit margin between these two teams. And every time I watch USC, I'm like, man, you're like, these receivers can make plays, and the offensive line's ready to go to the NFL, and the defense has, USC's got a ton of NFL talent. They probably has as much NFL talent or close to it as Notre Dame does, maybe more. So from a straight talent standpoint, I can't get to the window with the Irish. But USC, they've lost a turnover battle 3 games in a row, you know, and they managed to cover once while doing that, winning the game straight up, despite losing the turnover battle against Utah. But they're just not a clean football team. Even off a bye, I don't trust USC to be clean. If I had to play the game, I could only take the Trojans plus. That's the bottom line. And I'm always reluctant to back a team like a Notre Dame, you know, coming off that big blowout. Oh, they killed Bowling Green, and they killed Virginia in a game where they were +4 in turnovers. If I had to play the game, yeah, it would be USC or pass. But right now, I'm not really close to getting the window with USC. But yeah, I do see your point. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Trojans give them a game.
We'll let Lock and 24/7 close this up on Betting with the Bag here with our special guest every morning, Teddy Covers. He's wondering about this spot, Boise State -11.5. 139, 140 is the rotation number. And Nuclear Skull says Hawaii covers versus Boise. Boise State opening -13.5, now -11.5, a 2-point move towards Hawaii at Pinnacle. Can Hawaii cover this big dog spot here on the mainland?
So this is, it's a very disappointing matchup for me. I really like to be betting on Hawaii this week. I'd like to be betting on Hawaii moving forward. I don't know that I get there here. That's a tough matchup for Hawaii against Boise's defense. And when Hawaii can't score, their defense isn't going to get stops. I think that the Warriors are very much a bet-on team. I'm looking for spots to be betting on Hawaii. I agree with the assessment 100%. And my number on the game came relatively short. It came 12.5. So, but I thought it was going to open 14. And I'm like, oh, my number's a little bit short. And then, of course, it opened 13 and got bet down, or 13 and a half and got bet down. Both these teams have been good ATS, but I worry about Boise's defense shutting Hawaii down. My best case scenario here is Boise kills them, and the markets say, oh, well, Hawaii's no good, and they downgrade Hawaii off of that. I think we'll make money with the Warriors moving forward. But this is not a good matchup for Hawaii from a defensive standpoint, and from either side of the football standpoint, to be honest. I'm not excited about Hawaii this week. Although I'm like you. I want to be betting on that team. And off of, maybe we do get there. I don't know, off a bye. Hawaii's guys like them. Hawaii's good. Hawaii's better than advertised. Monday morning look. I lean Hawaii. I doubt I bet it.
Very exciting getting these Monday looks and a lot of interesting angles. Thank you so much for joining us. Our guy, Teddy Covers. Follow Teddy on Twitter. He's very, very active, very exciting. Follow Teddy_Covers. Get all low baggers to follow our guy, Teddy Covers. Teddy, thank you so much for joining us, man. I love this process that we have, having you each and every day of the week and slowly figuring out exactly what we want our card to be in NCAA football, my friend. And I did jump on that over 9 in the Yankees game late after Teddy and I talked about it. Teddy Covers, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great Monday, and you were a lot of fun today, my man. Thank you for joining us.
I have my moments, So you did stand up. You can actually be funny. I'm only funny, and I can be funny too, but not usually when I'm intentionally trying to be funny. That's okay. I appreciate the love, guys. Thank you so much in the chat. Thank you for hanging out with me, Jimmy. And we'll do it again tomorrow, buddy.
Oh, I look very much forward to it. There he is, Teddy Covers. And yes, I did stand up, but it deserves a bit of a caveat. After 19 years, if I was a better comedian, I would be doing that right now in front of sold audiences. So, let's be real about my possibly fail. I'm happy with what I did after 20 years of it, but let's be real. I would be doing that right now. I would have lineups down the street if I was a better stand-up comedian. Thank you guys, everybody in the chat, all the love. Great Monday. Isn't this fun, man? All these people, all these whiny bitches going, oh, in the case of the Mondays, fucking Mondays. We got baseball popping off in 30 minutes, 4 MLB playoff games, Monday Night Football in San Fran, the undefeated 49ers. We have 2 NHL games, the Stanley Cup champion Blues going into Toronto to try to take care of business. A lot of fun. Going over my looks, I'm on the over 46 minus 116 at Bookmaker. That was earlier in the week in Browns Niners. I'm on the Leafs minus 1. That's my first minus 1 of the young season. Moneyline minus 126, minus 1.5 at plus 205. That's my only look in NHL. And in MLB, I have 2 looks. I am on the Cardinals on the minus 1 line, and I'm on the over 9. Over 9. In the Yankees game. Man, we have no show without you guys. Truly. You share your hard work. You share your insights. You share your humor. And I'm just very thankful to get to hang out with you guys time and time again, going heads up against not applicable Blues money line Leafs. There's just too much value on the Leafs at home after losing 6-5 in a shootout. To me, there's just too much value. I can understand if this was the opening line to take the Blues, but now there's been a huge move towards the Blues. I'll take the Leafs in this spot to show up early in the season. We'll be back very soon. Big Ragu is a special guest on our late show Monday and more. Please join us then. But most importantly, let's get after it. We got afternoon baseball, so let's come back in the dark. Leche, hey, los bookmakers!